Good afternoon and welcome to our YouTube channel. This is the first video that we've done for our drum section, so I hope you enjoy it. Alright, to start out with, I'm going to preface this with saying that there's no hard and fast rules for tuning drums. Everyone does it differently to suit different styles of playing. I'm going to start off with a floor tom because it's the hardest to tune, just because you've got to get a nice low clear note. If you started tuning with a 10-inch tom, you're going to tune it up so it sounds really good, but it's probably going to end up being too low. By the time you get down to your floor tom and you want to set a good pitch for it, it's going to be a really, really low rumbly sound. You won't be able to tune it well. Taking your drum key, do 1 half turn on each lug, moving around the drum in opposites, just the same as if you were taking off a spare wheel on a car. The reason we do this is to make sure that the hoop comes off in a relatively horizontal manner. If we just undid one lug, all that side's pressure is released and you're likely to bend the hoop. This bit will be sweet and fast forward. Okay, so we've got the drum to a point where the hoop is just sitting loose and all of these tension rods are outside of their little lugs. Now to go through the biology of a drum. We've got the shell, which is this round cylinder of wood. We've got all these little fellas around there, they're called lugs. And they've got a little screw hole on the top which you wind your tension rods into. The drum skins we're using today are Evans EC2s, which are a 2-ply drum skin. If you're using old drums, it's good to give the bearing edge a little bit of a wipe down to just get rid of any fluff or splinters or any badness. Take your drum hoop. Again, if there's any fluffy badness all over it, just wipe it off with a cloth. You don't need to use any cleaning products, just a dry cloth. So you've just seated your head. Give it a couple of winds in each tension rod just to make sure they're all lined up straight. There we go. So the tension rods are all in, but it's all still very loose and messy. So what we do now is we do each point up finger tight. That way you know you've got to a pretty good, I suppose, starting point for tuning your drum up, because you know that the head has only just made contact with the drum. In theory, a drum is in tune when each of these tension points around the drum are at the same tension. You can buy products like a drum dial, which is a little pressure gauge that sits on the drum and it's got a needle that presses down in the skin and measures how tight it is at each point around the drum. Mostly people will just do it by ear. Now we'll take our tuning key, give it 1 half turn, again moving in this pattern zigzagging across the drum twice. It'll be roughly in the right spot. Then what we do, I don't know if you can hear that, but you hear a little bit of creaking. That's just the drum head settling and squeezing up nice and tight underneath this drum hoop and also across the bearing edge. Now with my hand I'm just going to dampen the bottom skin because I don't want to hear that resonating, I just want to hear the top skin. So they're all roughly the same note. It could do with a little bit more tuning, but we'll give it a hit just to see how it sounds. You can hear there's a little bit of a growl in the aftertone of it. There's a little bit of a pitch bend going down. I'm going to see if I can tune that out just so we get a nice clear sound out of it. There's a pitch difference between these two tension points. That'll also be true on the opposite side of the drum. Drums are nearly always out of tune at opposite points. There's still that pitch difference, so a little bit tighter. And you can hear that pitch bend has gone away. Tuning also has to do with the bottom head. This is still sounding relatively clean, so it means the bottom head's going to be pretty well in tune. So we'll turn it upside down, we'll check over it anyway. hear that one's a little bit low. It's also good to have your drum skins, I find, in harmony with each other at a very, very close interval, so like a minor second or something like that, so that only half a step apart. You're likely to get some discord between the two skins resonating. You can hear those two skins are at a nice harmony. There we go, we've got one floor tom that's in tune.